What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another RZA Gaming Raid Cam. I'm RZA. Today we're on a server called Rustopia. It's a pretty big server, it's a pretty famous server, and this raid is going to be huge. We've got the FOB down already. The attackers and the defenders are both returning fire between each other, and it's an online raid. It's going to be a good raid, and it's a bloody big raid. M249 being defended from the roof. The first attackers tried to make a slight push out from the FOB, but he's been taken down, while we got another attacker on the roof trying to build that FOB up. The FOB continues to grow. I do not know how big this FOB has to be, but it's getting bigger by the minute.
I need more ammo.
The M249 gunner requesting more ammo, and he's taken down their builder, but he's continuing to build, and nothing's going to slow these guys down. Got the admin there floating. The plugins don't work on the demo record, but in-game you cannot see him normally, so apologies for that. Night begins to fall. The bolt action guy on the FOB has been taken down by the defenders inside the base. Their gun galleries are definitely working, and we got a rocket that's being launched at the FOB now. Perfectly deflected by the windows. Plenty of sentries on the roof. Nights begin to fall. Gunfire between the FOB and the main base, but nothing's slowing these guys down just at the moment. But we haven't seen a breach, and we haven't seen a rocket coming from the attackers. Laying down some good fire down there, but he's been taken out by the M249 on the roof. And Night makes it really difficult to see, but they've... Holy shit, they've just been rocketed. The whole build team, the whole attack crew wiped out in one rocket. What a well-placed rocket. GG from the defenders as well. That was an excellent rocket. And the sun is coming up, and they're still building. They've got this whole gun gallery platform going on up the top of the FOB, laying plenty of cover fire down onto the main base. Moko's still using the M249 to put down plenty of fire, keeping the pressure on for the attackers. Got a rogue admin there flying around as well, just to make life difficult for the edit.
3 guys is dead.
The sun is up, and these guys are still continuing to upgrade their FOB, but it looks like we're getting a heli coming in from the coast side. This is going to cause a lot of chaos. This is going to wreak havoc for the guys. They're going to have to either fight the heli, and they are. They've tagged the rotor blade, is what you can see falling down there. They're going to have to fight it now, and they're going to have to put the guns down and call peace for a little bit while they fight it. The heli is putting rockets into the main base. It's definitely pissed off. It's been aggroed. The FOB is also receiving fire as well. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to build that FOB, get it secure before the heli comes around. And the heli is rocketing now. The FOB has been rocketed. And I don't know, they were all up there. They've all been hit, and they're all down, and they're all dead and out for the count. That was an insane kill by the heli. It's going to be good news for the defenders as well, to see all those guys are going to be on timers. Heli is gone now, and it looks like those guys that got rocketed on the roof are coming back via boat, or they've called in support. Either way, there's 3 full kit guys coming in from the riverside, coming up behind the FOB. Sentry going down outside the back of the FOB. More fire coming down from the top of main base. We got a bolty, a sentry, and it looks like another guy, maybe two bolties up there, strafing back and forward, putting down plenty of fire, making it difficult for the attackers. And the attackers are getting pretty bored themselves. Now, it's been a few days, a few rust days now, and I had to cut a lot of the footage because they're not making any moves. Until now. Compound has been completed, and it looks like they're putting down more sentries in the front of the FOB. Are they ready to make a move? Are they ready to make this raid happen? Geared guys moving to the roof. I've got geared guys in the compound as well. I think it's about to happen. Rocket launchers on the backs of the players, and it looks like they're making a move out of the compound now with a C4 in hand. C4 up on the high external wall. And he's breached the first layer of high external walls, following it up with a rocket into there straight away. You can see the defenders covering down to the breach from the gun gallery windows, your embrasures. Also more rockets going off from the top of the fob as well, and they're laying it down into the sentry. Couldn't see it before, but the defenders have armoured up their roofs that they're using to shoot from, so they can't be rocketed and laddered. A rocket coming down from the defenders into the breach, and there's plenty of fire, plenty of gunfire, plenty of fire down in the breach to stop them from laddering. Looks like one of the players is trying to drain down that sentry, as that sentry also gets rocketed from the top of the fob. They can't move in until this is destroyed. They can't attack from the other side. You've got those metal barricades there. They're a pain in the ass. Essentially, having a look around the base, this is the only point that they could have shot from. They could have gone through the other side. Would have left it wide open for them as well. So the side they've chosen to rocket from and attack from is probably the best side as well. And I like the way they've used the coast side, so they've been able to attack from the water. Rockets going off into the breach, but not getting much pushback from the defenders. They've been able to break through now into the main base, and looks like a few of them are going to be pushing in. Ladders will go down, and they will push up and then rocket through that honeycomb into the loot rooms. More guys pushing in, they're ready to make the move, they're all at the breach, and it's going to be interesting. That isn't actually the defenders up there, they've already laddered up, that is their own. The attackers are inside and they are rocketing. Making their way, tunneling through the main core of the base. They're not getting any pushback from the defenders. Where are the defenders? Where are they and what are they doing? They need to get out there and they need to defend this base. First loot room has been breached and looks like they're now rocketing and C4ing through to the core. Some of the defenders have looked like they're on the outside, but he doesn't stand a chance. He's on a 4 or 5v1 in the night time. Night has fallen. There is stuff everywhere. We've got lights flailing. They're dispersing their loot outside. It looks like they're making their first bank of the raid. They'll pick up what they want and they'll be putting that back in their forward operating base as they continue to pick this base apart. Armored wall down now. It looks like he's taking out the boxes or maybe perhaps a sentry that's in there. Pummeling more rockets through, slowly picking this base apart. And they're in. Being very cautious, they've moved in now. It looks like they've been managed to get the tool cupboard and destroy the tool cupboard. Making their way through there. There is a defender on the other side of that armored. He's shooting through the door hatch. But they're going to C4 through. He's not going to be safe in there for very long. And your armor door and your armored walls aren't going to save you. C4's gone off and he's taken out, unfortunately, two of the attackers. The door is open and he's pushed out. The GF guy has put it. He's put up a good fight, but it's not enough now. Moko's coming through for the gun. He's been sentryed. Good little push there from the defenders, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. That sentry took them out, which means that the attackers do have tool cupboard. I didn't catch that, but it looks like they're also taking out the outer sentries on the compound as well. Draining those turrets, making it a nightmare for the attackers. Here we are. Yes, they're taking out and they are securing their grounds. I haven't seen this done before. Instead of destroying the sentry, he is sealing it in with walls so it can't shoot them. I like it. I'd like to see that more in other raid cams once you get tool cupboards. It's a really clever idea. Here comes one of the defenders coming up the ladder hatch to go the attacker. A second one pushing out now with a semi. They've both been taken out. Unfortunately, they've left the ladder hatch wide open for them to progress with the raid. The door happened to open. Perhaps this is where they're hiding, but they've managed to take him out and he's dropped down the ladder hatch. And they've closed the ladder hatch before he's been able to, so they've got his body and they've got his loot. Pushing back out again at the ladder hatch as he's made way there to retrieve his gear. He's been able to close it again, but he's not before he's killed another one. Ladder hatch open, but he hasn't noticed. He hasn't heard the ladder hatch open as he sits down there with his own gear waiting for him to come back. Slowly pushing out. This is going to be a bit of an interesting play. He's coming back now. He's laying down. He's got the jump on him, but he's taken them both out. What an amazing bit of PvP action there. He's clutched it. They had the jump on him and he's been able to swing around and take them out for the kill.
Hello? Hello? Hello, motherfucker? Hello?
And he is taunting them. He is taunting them to come out as they drop down there. They both drop down there now to retrieve their loot. The door is open. And there's a sentry in there, and the sentry and plus the semi-automatic has taken them both out. And they've closed the hatch and they've sealed the loot. The loot is all theirs. What a fantastic play. They've trapped him, they baited him, and they went down there and they fell for it. That sentry was waiting for them and it absolutely murdered them, but they're not going to stand for that. They've got their mates there with the rocket. He's saying, come on, mate, let's get back in there. Let's take this stuff out. They're not going to have my gear. We're going to go get it back. So the hatch is now gone, but it's too late, boys. They've taken your loot. We're covering it. They're sitting in there. They're camping that door, and they're picking them off one by one. Here we are from a shot from the inside as TK or T-Killer and Real sit in there, camping that door, trying to bait them in. Will they fall for it again? I do not know. The ladder hatch, another guy flailing there like he's doing some mad seizure up there on the ladder hatch. Woo! Rockets coming back now from the attackers. Ace and Nully are pushing back with rocket launchers. This isn't going to end well for the guys down in there with the little trap door. Taking them out again. They're full dead. That's always going to happen when you get hit in the face with a rocket launcher. Doors back open again, and Naked pushing out. Probably try to get a little bit of loot that he can. Pushing up now to make a play on the attackers. He's taken one out with a couple of shots. Pushing back hard, and he's retreated back into his little room. Two attackers now pushing back slowly, jumping up. The attackers have managed to take out one of the guys in the red suit and creep back up on these guys as he sits there and camps that door. He's picked him up, but he's been able to take him out before he can get back into safety, and they've shut the door again. These guys, they've definitely tried to push out. They've definitely tried to make some plays.
Come on, motherfucker.
Lots of taunting coming from the guys, telling them to come out, just push in, but the rockets continue to sound and they continue to camp that door as they try and lure them into their base. The last of the defenders now hold up in there looking to make a play. Taking out one of the attackers as he pushes through now, looking for a second. Moko looking to make a play. One of the other attackers is around there while Edoc lays there dead and lifeless. Pushing through now, Bank UFO has been able to take out Moko. We have Ace and his boys out the front there sealing off so they can't push around while they disperse the loot. Almost looks like this raid might be over. They definitely don't have any stance or any defense for these guys. They have the roof, they have the sides, they got the breach, and it looks like their compound is full of their loot too. Last stand there in the red suit on the left hand side while the raiders look around to come around the corner. Nully pushing through slowly and he's been taking him out. It's almost like he knew he was there, but Ham is also pushing through while B1 pushes through with the group while Ace stands back, probably got the rocket on his back. Finishing off these beds, they need to stop them from spawning so they don't get caught off guard. Putting down another sentry to cover their backs while they destroy these lockers. They're picking apart this base and they're getting all the loot they can get. They're not leaving anything. Ace pushing through with his rockets and he is tunneling through this base. He is making his mark and this base is destroyed. They're home still. The roller door is up. They're making their last plays. Tully's covering it with the AK and managed to take one out while Ace is there reloading his rocket launcher and they've rocketed but taken down one of their own and the roller door is now gone. Their boys are pushing through. The defenders are definitely making a last stance. They're definitely giving it all they can, but I don't think that's going to be enough for these guys. There's not lots left, and it looks like they're pushed right through the other side of the base now. Destroying the boxes with the locks on them so they can check out that juicy loot while the others destroy the beds. This raid, I would say, is as good as over. One has spawned back in, but he's got nothing to shoot as he taunts them. He knows he's done. He knows it's over. These guys are making a meal. Ace there firing rockets off while he finishes off with another sentry. Has taken down one of the attackers, but he's finished the sentry off with the rocket. And they are all the way through the base. They are all the way through. They are now just rocketing the last of the roller doors, tidying off this loot. But there seems to be another base that he's interested in, and he's taken a fancy to making sure that they're not hiding in there. Not seeing any movement, but we did see a guy in here before, but I do believe they took him out. See his bag on the roof there. Finishing off the raid with some satchel charges. Have they found the rockets? Have they found the sulfur and gunpowder yet? I haven't seen them transferring that loot yet, so I'm not sure they found it. Ace determined to find his boys, take them to glory for the rockets. Door down. Could this be the loot room they're looking for? With Ham, and Ham has destroyed the boxes as these guys, and they look like they are taunting the guys, and they are sealed inside a room. They have sealed themselves inside a armored room.
Where is all the rockets? I don't know.
And there you have it, folks. The rockets have been despawned on the floor, whilst they taunt the attackers on the outside. All the gunpowder. They know that they don't have enough to get through to where they are. They do not have enough rockets to get into that armor. And why not? Do the despawn and taunt them from the inside. This raid is done and dusted.